Often we think we know until we get stuck. And that's where you're going to want to use point of reference to make it easier for you. Hey there, I'm Mr. Rappaport, and I help ADHD entrepreneurs optimize their brain so running their business is a whole lot easier. And today we're discussing how to use point of reference to make business easier. Okay, so first, what is a point of reference? Okay, a point of reference is something for you to look back at, for something for you to compare to, for you to be able to figure out whatever you're trying to figure out. Okay, so I remember as a kid, sometimes we would go on school buses, right, like to school, and sometimes you'd be sitting on the bus and you just won't be sure, is the bus going backwards or has it stopped? It was like by a red light and there was other buses moving and you weren't sure if you were like rolling backwards or like what was going on here. I remember there's a specific spot, like the road was a little bit like it was a little bit of a hill and you're like at the top of the hill, stoplight, and it was like, what's going on here? And then I was like, hey, outside here, there is a store. This store is not moving. It is in its place. I can look at this store. I know this store isn't moving, and I can see, hey, am I going in front of it? Am I moving behind it, or am I in the same place to it exactly? Because I don't know for sure what's happening to the cars next to me. I'm not sure exactly what's going on right now. It just feels like I'm moving backwards. But if I look at the store and I see that in relationship to the store, if I compare my position to that store, which I know is not moving, I know that we are not moving. And it just happens to be those other buses and cars were moving ahead, and it felt like we were moving backwards. Does that make sense? So it's something that you know for sure to help you be able to figure it out. Often we have models or templates, or we're just like trying to figure out something and we're like, hey, I don't know how to do this, right? If you compare back to the model and use that point, create that point of reference, you find something that you know is for sure, then afterwards, you will help you be able to figure out what to do next. One way I really like to use point of reference is together with clients. They're like, sometimes clients are, oh, I want results faster, or what type of results could I get, or things like that. If you have a point of reference of what the average client result gets, you can show them this is what we are working towards. This is what the average gets to, and this is what we are going to compare you to. Or maybe it's you're comparing according to like a graph or a map, right? Like there's maybe many stages of you working with your client, and you're building some sort of software or creating some sort of something for them, and it takes many steps along the way, and you can constantly compare back to it so they can see where you're moving along. And another really good point of reference is to do like a before and after, right? You're comparing back to where they before and after, just like in like losing weight with body, like before and after, comparing, do you look better? Are you do you have more muscle, type of things like that? You're comparing before and after. That is your point of reference. The before picture is your point of reference for the results after. So if you can create some sort of like before and after for your clients or for your team, then they can have a point of reference to see how far along they are moving. Now, sometimes point of references are right there, and like you just have to look for them and use them. Sometimes you need to create that point of reference, right? So these before and after pictures is a really good example. Someone who's if you're like helping people with losing weight or building muscle, you take a picture on the first day, and that's easy. That's like you don't have to create it, it's the person right there. But sometimes your business is not like that and you need to create it. So let's say for me, I needed to create something as a point of reference before. And so we created a cognitive function assessment. I've had to create a point of reference. People can see where their cognitive functions are. And after working with me, they can compare back to that assessment. They can use that as a point of reference to see how far along they've gotten. But point of references don't only have to be with your clients. Like we said earlier, point of references could also be within your own internal work of you trying to figure out what to do. Maybe you're creating a new presentation for a speech, and so your previous presentation is your point of reference for your presentation now. Or maybe you're creating a new speech from scratch and you don't have a point of reference, so you need to create a point of reference. Maybe ask ChatGPT to create a point of reference. Even if you're going to put in your own content, that is your own point of reference. So right below, I want you to share where you are going to use point of references to make your business easier, and I will catch you on the next video.